Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting Express News. First, the national headlines. India's President Draupadi Murmu presented Gallantry Awards in Defence Investiture Ceremony 2024 Phase 1 that was held in Rashtrapati Bhavan or India's President's House in New Delhi. Among the dignitaries present on the occasion were Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Minister for Defence Rajnath Singh and Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the Indian contingent heading to Paris Olympics 2024 in New Delhi on Thursday. India is set to dispatch approximately 120 athletes to Paris, aiming to surpass their achievement of securing 7 medals in the Tokyo Games. India's Prime Minister conveyed his unwavering belief that India's contingent heading to the Olympics will definitely bring honour to the nation and fulfill the hopes and dreams of the country's 140 crore citizens. The Prime Minister also spoke about the prospects of hosting the 2036 Olympics and said that India will try to host the 2036 Olympics. This will help in creating an environment for all the athletes. The Unified Payments Interface went live at the flagship store of world-renowned Galeries Lafayette in Haussmann, Paris. Javed Ashraf, Ambassador of India to France, launched UPI by live use at the store. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting the Russian Federation and the Republic of Austria on the 8th of July. The Prime Minister will be in Moscow at the invitation of President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, to hold the 22nd India-Russia Annual Summit. The Indian Prime Minister is all set to travel to Austria after Russia. His visit to Austria marks the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Austria in 41 years. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar will be on a 2-day visit to Kerala from Saturday. On the first day of his visit, the Vice President will deliver the convocation address as chief guest at the 12th convocation of the Indian Institute of Space, Science and Technology. The North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh's police on Thursday arrested 6 organizers of the religious event in Hathras, during which a major stampede claimed the lives of about 121 people. The Uttar Pradesh police conducted raids to capture Bhole Baba as part of the investigation in connection with the recent stampede in Hathras that killed 121 people. Police is also exploring the angle whether the stampede was an accident or a conspiracy. A court in New Delhi on Friday issued a notice to India's Central Bureau of Investigation regarding a bail plea filed by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in connection with the excise policy case. The court has set the matter to be heard on July 17th. India's National Board of Examination in Medical Sciences announced revised date for NEET PG exam. The exam is now scheduled to be held on August 11th in 2 shifts. The exam was postponed a month ago, which was earlier scheduled for June 23rd. India's northeastern state of Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh undertook a detailed inspection of the flood-stricken areas in Imphal, assessing the extent of the damage and coordinating relief efforts to support the affected communities. In a business updates, at close, Nifty rose 12 points to hit an all-time high of 24,314, whereas Sensex slipped 53 points to stand at 79,997. At close, Indian rupee rose at 1 paise to stand at 83.49 against the US dollar. India hits a new milestone with significant growth in defence production, with approximately 1.7 lakh crore rupees recorded in the financial year 2023-24. According to official reports, the value of production was recorded 16.7% higher than the value of production of previous financial year. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also lauded India's highest ever growth registered in defence production in the year 2023-24. Global crude oil prices were little changed on Friday, trading near their highest since April and on track for a 4th straight week of gains. World equity markets touched fresh record highs with optimism about a US rate cut underpinning sentiment ahead of key jobs numbers later on Friday, while the euro hit a 3-week high ahead of French elections this weekend. U.S. stock index futures inched up at the end of a week that saw signs of softening economy, raising hopes of an interest rate cut in September, with investors gearing up for yet another key employment report after returning from a July 4th holiday. Sterling and UK stocks were higher as Britain's Labour Party was set for a landslide poll victory after 14 years of Conservative rule. With the European Union's extra duties on Chinese-made electric vehicles taking effect on Friday, some car makers have been considering whether to raise their prices or take other measures in response. And as counting ended in the United Kingdom for its national elections, British newspapers marked Labour Party's election landslide on Friday in the 650-seat parliament to end 14 years of Conservative rule. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak conceded defeat in the national election on Friday. Rishi Sunak has tendered his resignation at Buckingham Palace as the Conservatives headed for the biggest defeat in their nearly 200-year history. King Charles III has appointed Keir Starmer, promising economic renewal and a British re-engagement with the world as the UK's 7th Labour Prime Minister and the first since 2010. Earlier, Labour leader and now British Prime Minister Keir Starmer celebrated the victory with supporters on Friday morning. He also said that change begins now. British Defence Minister Grant Shapps lost his seat at Thursday's parliamentary election, becoming the most senior Conservative cabinet member so far to be defeated. Nigel Farage, leader of the right-wing Reform UK party, won a seat in the British Parliament for the first time on Friday in the seaside English town of Clacton-on-Sea. Iranians began voting on Friday in a runoff election to replace late President Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash last month. The vote is a tight race between low-key lawmaker Masoud Pezeshkian, the sole moderate in the original field of 4 candidates, and the hardline former nuclear negotiator Saeed Jalili. In an election campaign dominated by hardliners, Iranian presidential hopeful Masoud Pezeshkian has stood out as a moderate, backing women's rights, more social reforms and freedoms, cautious detente with the West and also economic reform. Pezeshkian narrowly beat hardline Saeed Jalili for the first place on June 28th in the first round of voting, but the two men are now facing a runoff election on Friday since Pezeshkian did not secure the majority. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei cast his vote as polls opened on Friday for a runoff presidential election. In France, the government spokesperson and candidate in the legislative elections, Prisca Thévenot, was seen back in the streets of Meudon to meet voters supported by Prime Minister Gabriel Attal one day after being attacked. President of the National Rally in France, Jordan Bardella, presented himself as the only one capable of getting France out of its blocked situation by obtaining the absolute majority during the second round on Sunday of the early legislative elections. As the Russia-Ukraine war entered its 861st day on Friday, 5 people were injured and a child has been killed in a Ukrainian drone attack on the southwestern Russian region of Krasnodar. The Ukrainian attack damaged a 3-story apartment building in Primorsko-Akhtarsk, which is home to a Russian airbase from where both military jets and drones are regularly launched to attack Ukraine. Vice Admiral Oleksiy Nezpapa, Ukraine's Navy chief, claims that Russia is losing Crimean hub in Black Sea. The Ukrainian chief further said that Russia's Navy's Black Sea fleet has been forced to rebase nearly all its combat-ready warships from occupied Crimea to other locations, and its main naval hub is becoming ineffectual because of attacks by Kyiv. Meanwhile, negating news reports, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has said that he is in no position to negotiate between Ukraine and Russia. The Russian Defense Ministry is carrying out drills involving mobile nuclear missile launchers. Yar's missile launcher crews from 2 units are set to move over 100 kilometers and practice camouflage and deployment. The United States welcomed a 2-week humanitarian truce in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the White House said on Thursday, amid fierce fighting between government troops and Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. 25 soldiers accused of fleeing the enemy while fighting M23 rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo have been sentenced to death during a one-day trial. The situation is particularly concerning in the restive province of North Kivu. More than 150,000 people have been displaced due to continued fighting in the town of Libero, and the strategically important town of Kanya-Bayonga has been seized. The IMF said on Wednesday that its executive board has concluded a 6th and last review of Congo's loan program, allowing for an immediate disbursement of about $224.7 million. You're watching Express News. We're heading for a short break. Stay with us.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Express News. Let's get you more updates. Hurricane Beryl, a Category 2 storm, made landfall in Mexico's top tourist destinations early on Friday, triggering a red alert in the region following its deadly trail of destruction across several Caribbean islands. As Hurricane Beryl approached the Mexican coast, residents and visitors in the state of Quintana Roo finalized their preparations on Thursday evening. Hurricane Beryl has left a trail of destruction across Grand Cayman Island, with a South Shore condominium complex bearing the storm's fury. Italy's civil protection escalated the alert level for Stromboli volcano to red on Thursday. Intense heat gripped eastern and western Japan, with daytime highs rising above body temperature. The highest temperature was recorded at 39.3 degrees Celsius in Shizuoka City on Thursday. Tens of thousands of people in Northern California are leaving their homes as wildfires grew across the state. About 28,000 people were under evacuation warnings or orders on Thursday. Heavy rains in Phuket over the past week have caused flash floods and inundation. The Prime Minister is also scheduled to visit the area to monitor relief efforts. Landslides and floods triggered by continuous rainfall plagued China's central Hubei province. The flood situation worsened in Bangladesh's northern district of Kurigram as the Brahmaputra and Dharla rivers swelled under constant rain and the surge of water upstream, leaving 50,000 people stranded. The flood situation in India's northeastern state of Assam remains critical, with over 2.1 million people affected in 29 districts. Students in Scotland talked face-to-face with Amaka, a robot developed by UK-based Engineered Arts. The initiative aims to help children to get up close and personal with the future of robotics. The International Space Station on Thursday released images of green aurora lights recorded 250 miles above Earth. Cambodia held a blessing ceremony on Thursday for 14 looted antiquities returned from New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. The returned items include a 10th century stone sculpture of the goddess Uma and a bronze Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. The annual 4-day Anime Expo kicked off in Los Angeles on Thursday, organized by a group of US-based anime fans. Japan's leading content creation companies and anime studios are showcasing their latest work at North America's largest anime convention. New York City's skyline was filled with fireworks on Thursday as millions of Americans marked July 4th, signing of the Declaration of Independence from Britain in 1776. Thousands of people gathered at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. to witness a fireworks display celebrating U.S. Independence Day. Competitive eaters carved down dozens of hot dogs in Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, an annual tradition on July 4th in New York's Coney Islands. Reigning women's champion Miki Sudo made history after chomping down a record-breaking 51 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Dozens of dessert enthusiasts gathered in Florida on Thursday for a key lime pie eating contest. The competitors are required to eat the pie face first and hands-free. A new exhibition looking at the evolution of Barbie has opened in London as the famous metal doll turned 65 years. Barbie, the exhibition running at the Design Museum from 5th July to 23rd of February, features more than 250 items from the Barbie universe. A new space observatory in Cyprus looks like it just uncloaked itself on the sets of a sci-fi movie and is ready for takeoff. Perched high on the Troodos Mountains in the center of the island and with an unobstructed view of the skies, the $1.9 million publicly funded Troodos Observatory was inaugurated in May. Pet weddings are on the rise in China as keeping pets has become popular lately. In a charming outdoor wedding ceremony with an audience of more than 50, golden retrievers Brie and Bond tied the knot in front of their closest human and canine friends in China. Against the backdrop of cement blocks in the noisy and bustling capital, Egyptians can find a green haven of rare plants in the country's Giza Governorate, dubbed as Mazhar Garden. A team of botanical experts look after the garden, which includes a library and a herbarium for the rare plants. A farmer in India's northeastern state of Assam has set up the region's first seed library at Jorhat called Annapurna. Mohan Chandra Bora has set up a seed library with more than 300 varieties of indigenous rice. A wax statue of global superstar Beyoncé Knowles was unveiled at the Grevin Museum in Paris on Thursday to be added to the vast collection of the museum. Kate Winslet, who rose to fame with her role in James Cameron's Titanic, received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Munich International Film Festival. Vanessa Hudgens and her husband, baseball player Cole Tucker, have welcomed their first child. K-pop girl group New Jeans has been appointed as the 2024 Honorary Ambassador of Korean Tourism by the Korean Tourism Organization. Second edition of Da Nang Asian Film Festival opened in Vietnam's central city of Da Nang on Tuesday. Acclaimed actor Manoj Bajpayee celebrated 26 years of his iconic crime film Satya, which released in 1998. Actor Satyaraj, known for his iconic role in Katappa in Bahubali franchise, and actor Pratik Babbar have joined hands with Bollywood superstar Salman Khan for his upcoming film Sikandar. The makers of the much anticipated film Sarfira, starring Akshay Kumar and Radhika Madan, unveiled the fun wedding anthem, Chawat. The makers of 35 Chinna Katha Kadu unveiled the teaser for the film. Let's get to sports updates. 4 Mumbai cricketers who were part of the India's T20 World Cup winning team, including skipper Rohit Sharma, were felicitated by Maharashtra government. Ace Indian QS Pankaj Advani booked his spot in the final of the 2024 Asian Billiards Championship. Hosts Germany will face off against Spain in the first quarterfinal of the Euro 2024 in Stuttgart on Friday. Portugal will take on France in the second quarterfinals later tonight. Both squads held a training session ahead of the crucial match. Premier League club Manchester United said that Erik ten Hag has signed a new contract with the club to extend his stay until 2026. In Wimbledon, Novak Djokovic huffed and puffed into the third round with a 6-3, 6-4, 5-7, 7-5 win over British Jacob Fernley. 7th seed Hubert Hurkacz became the third men's top player to make an early exit after injury. 4th seed Alexander Zverev stepped up his bid for an elusive Grand Slam title by thumping Marcus Giron 6-2, 6-1, 6-4. Iga Swiatek underlined her status as the world's top player with an efficient 6-4, 6-3 victory over Croatian Petra Martic. Preparations at the Olympic Village for the upcoming Games are in full swing as the village is set to open its doors for athletes in mid-July. That's it in this edition of Express News. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.